The rate of tanker explosion on Nigerian roads has reached a disturbing peak as it has become a regular antisocial structure for us. And just yesterday in Benue State, that's along Alede Highway, and it was a gory sight for those who came around to watch, and also for men, the law enforcement agent actually trying to take care of the situation. But then the pictures that are out there for everyone to actually see that this is a dangerous phenomenon that is enclosing on everyone. Now, fuel tanker explosion disaster constitutes a veritable threat to our roads as well as the community. Not forgetting the property involved. Just like I said, about 50 people were said to have been killed and several others still hospitalized for degrees of burns that they experienced. And of course, we can't forget, in a hurry, last year's huge tanker explosion on the popular OTEDOLA bridge in Lagos. All over you get to hear of one account or the other. Now the occurrence has become one too many to be ignored, and that is why we are interested in discussing that today on Nigeria Today. Welcome to the program. My name is Blessing Abu. In the studio to take a look at this, I would like to welcome one of our regular faces on our station, Mr. Jide Ojo, the public affairs analyst. Welcome to the program.
It's a pleasure. Thanks for having me. Good evening, Nigerians.
And joining him on set, we'd like to welcome Chinedu Ukadike, is the national PRO, that's a public relations officer, Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria. Welcome, Mr. Ukadike.
Good evening, Nigerians. Thank you for having us here today.
Fuel, tanker explosion, inferno here, people trying to skip fuel when the tanker upturns on the road. These are ugly scenes, and I'm sure it's a great concern for your members as well. Share your thoughts with us.
Well, it's very, very quite unfortunate that this kind of thing is happening in this country. And for us, the independent petroleum marketers, it's a sad day for us. A really sad day for us. And I also heard the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria condoling with marketers and tanker drivers and all the stakeholders in the oil and gas industry. I say it's a very, very sad day and a very big minus to we, the independent petroleum marketers, losing property and lives of our loved ones, and also causing serious chaos in the society. I want to tell you that as far as independent petroleum marketers are concerned, it's a very, very big loss for us in this business.
Well, over the period we've recorded this, whether this recent one in Benue, Lagos, or wherever, what have been your findings? Because definitely you just sit low. Okay, it has happened. Yes, lives are lost. Property, what millions are actually engulfed in this. What have you found out?
Yeah, last year, the Federal Road Service Corps organized a stakeholders meeting where the national chairman of PTD and all the stakeholders in oil and gas, the NATO, all the stakeholders in oil and gas we came together to be able to proffer solutions to these kind of problems. And one of the major striking issues that all the stakeholders highlighted was the bad roads. We have serious bad roads. If you see what will happen, you find out that most of these tanker drivers, they are trying to dodge one pothole to the other, and they fell into a very bad trap. And you see the tanker, because of the speed, because of the nature of our roads, because of substandard tires and body parts that are used in building these trucks. That is what is bad. And also you find out that the long transportation of petroleum products from one destination to another is also a very, very key to this kind of incidents in Nigeria. You find out the truck driver driving almost 14 hours from Lagos to Kano, from Lagos to Port Harcourt, from Lagos to Calabar, or from Calabar to Kaduna or Maiduguri. It's very, very tedious, and it's a long, there's no stoppage, nothing. The roads are very, very bad. You have to transport this product. And you find out that by the time they get to a certain point, either they slip off on the steering, or they ram into an oncoming vehicle, maybe because of sleep and all the rest of them.
All right. These are no doubt great concerns you have raised, but what you are doing different, because you are in business to make business and as well as also make sure the environment is safe where your business actually operates. Mr. Ojo, this is another period to mourn, to condole people, and also to also go in retrospect. What again, or why again this type of incidences?
Why not? Why not again? Because we've refused to do the needful. He has said a number of factors that are responsible for this, and we know them. Even a school certificate, a brilliant school certificate student will tell you the challenges of trucking inflammable products across the length and breadth of Nigeria. The solutions are there staring us in the face, but have we done it? We talked about vandalism of pipelines, but why haven't we repaired those vandalized pipelines to bridge the transport, the trucking? We know the roads are bad. In fact, this is just one aspect of the calamity, the inferno. In many instances, there are other forms of accidents leading to loss of lives, even when they are not carrying products. They constitute nuisance on the road. Talk about the presidential order to clear the Apapa gridlock. Is it not part of the challenge? We all know. I mean, if the rails are functioning, our railway or the pipelines, these products can be transported via railway, via water, and even by pipelines. Now these three are totally or almost 100% absent. We depend solely now on freighting by road. The road is bad. What's up during the rainy season as it were? Because in dry season you may even spot a bad spot ahead of you if your headlamp is
maneuver
very good and maneuver. But during the rainy season or harmattan, where you can't see far, you are likely going to ram into pothole or ditches or gullies, and these usually lead to avoidable loss of lives and property. In millions of naira, okay, over 50 lives lost. Today, just your news report has it that in Lagos, another one was averted. Perhaps maybe because the law enforcement agencies were able to rally around and keep people at bay. Because again, what we don't even know is when incidences like this happen, what should be the response of the people, the community? That is what
we're going to come to, because while I set off with this, yes, it happened, but the response of the people, the activities close by, you get to see fuel tankers or other forms of petroleum products upturned on the road, and people go there in their numbers to start scooping fuel or scooping whatever the product is. How dangerous is this?
Very dangerous, of course.
very dangerous. You know,
because I have to ask that, because as if people just think it's just the normal.
People are looking at the money they are going to, the immediate money they are going to make,
at the expense of their lives.
Yes, because without knowing how inflammable these products are, very highly inflammable, and they can't get their gains without thinking about their loss. So that is the problem. You know, we need serious orientation on these issues to make sure, and there is serious poverty in this country. It drives people towards going to that place, and lack of legislation. We must do good legislation. The security agencies must be on the back to be able to make sure that they curb this thing. Like what happened today, the timely intervention of the men of Nigerian. Yes, it helped. It helped.
So how were they able to keep the people at bay? Because obviously some people have still dealt either way. Because okay, this way. Let's
quickly scoop and all the rest of them. But at least it will, because of the crowd and the ability to gather the place and be able to scoop as quickly as possible with all types of materials. Some come with their kettle, some come with their bucket. These are metals. You understand? They don't care. They don't want to know. Whatever is available and at your disposal, they will just take it and come on board and be able to make one. It's a black market. Profiteering. These are some things that that are causing all this problem, because most of our people patronize black market. If we don't patronize black market, nobody will come to go and scoop those fuel, because even if you have it, you will not use it. You cannot be able to sell it.
Mr. Ojo, how do we get beyond this level of, okay, yes, we'll say poverty, but then should your poverty overtake your reasoning as well, when even this is indicated on such the back of such tankers or trucks, highly inflammable material? Keep off.
Yeah, but how many people understand that English? I mean, basically...
But if we never even understood that, we've seen incidents of fire involving all this kind of trucks. Isn't that a lesson for us in different ways?
It is a lesson, but I think there are different drivers of why people take risk with their lives. It's a gamble. Even at the point of pipeline vandalization, you find that they just say fire of the 90s, where hundreds of lives were lost. Was it not because people were trying to scoop fuel from a leaking pipeline that made that to happen? The bottom line is, people always feel that the other person is not smart. That's why it happened to them. They forgot that when it comes to inflammable substance, smartness does not come into play. It's quite unfortunate that these are avoidable deaths and losses. But I think what we need is orientation by communities. I mean, local government can take on this kind of... If you know that trucks, there is high volume of trucks passing through your local government, it's something that local government chairperson can take up to sensitize people in the market, in schools, in communities, to say, look, in the event that this happens, please stay off. Because it's not everywhere you will see, like Lagos, where there are very quick responders, like fire service, LASMA, and the rest of them, to keep people at bay.
Especially those ones that are called on the highways.
Exactly,
like
exactly. And that's a rural community. I know a lady, a bit, is from when you are coming from the east or Tupo axis. So the people are, they just, oh, this is 145 naira per liter, for God's sake. If I am able to sell this, I can as well make some 10,000, 20,000. Forgetting that they stand to lose more. I mean, there are people who didn't die now, but who will never be the same again. By some degree of burning and the badly charred body and all of so they have become persons with disability going from what happened yesterday. And these statistics keep rising because there are no sufficient education of the communities, particularly the people at the grassroots, and even in our schools. Children, sometimes they thought, they don't know the difference between kerosene, petrol, and diesel. So some will say, hey, the kerosene is pouring, so let's go. Whether it's kerosene or even diesel, or,
as long as
all of them are inflammable. So the point is, I think we need this sensitization informally in schools, in churches, in communities, to help the national orientation agencies to sensitize people to stay off.
Talking about sensitization, our correspondent went out earlier in the day to actually feel the pulse of the public on what they understood by the topic of the day. Let's feel them and see what responses she brought back. You're watching Nigeria Today.
They don't know what they're doing. It's ignorance. Because if they know the implication of that, they wouldn't have gone to that place. But they felt as if it's something just came up for them. They want to benefit. No matter that they're risking their life.
It's two things. One is that most of them are ignorant of that danger. They have not been properly educated concerning the danger of that very particular thing. And the second one is poverty. So I suppose that's the only two reasons why they do this. So they were like, maybe they have seen a very cheap way to make money, and then they rush into it.
Yeah. Should I call it poverty? But poverty should not make somebody to risk his life, because it's a risk. You understand? I think what make them to go into scoping the fuel should be ignorance and the level of their own understanding. Because do you know at the process of that scoping, maybe they are with iron buckets. If they hit together, it's a spark, and from there the fire can explode and it will consume them.
Life is all about risks. And of course, the situation at hand is what is pushing them. Not that they are not aware of the dangers that is involved, but because of the situation at hand.
We create awareness through the media and the newspapers, all this, and the other medias that it can aid them so that they can deviate from all what they are doing, so that they will do the right thing.
Thank you for staying tuned into the program. Nigeria Today, taking a look at the fire incidents and also people doing whatever business they think it's right, but then endangering their lives. Yes, reactions from there, just some of the things you've already itemized, but then the greatest concern now will be what IPMAN is doing alongside other bodies that are involved in actually lifting this petroleum product across. Safety is the watchword first.
Yes, safety is the watchword, like you said. I also know that there was a time that we had a meeting with all the stakeholders, the NUPENG, the NATO, and the PTD, where we proposed to government about drivers in. Drivers in is like a stop point, where a driver that is traveling a very long distance can be able to park his vehicle and have a little nap. It is not the kind of drivers in we have in this country. If you go to Akwanga, if you go to Umunede, if you go, these are the places the driver uses as in, and that place is busy for 8 hours. You understand me? The driver wouldn't even sleep. So most of these accidents might be caused by the loss of sleep. I also want government to come down a little bit with the private sector to be able to provide some of these little amenities,
such as
driver spots. That driver spot is supposed to be built along the expressway, maybe between Ibadan, Ore, and some of these spots where the drivers can come park their vehicle, to take a small room, shower, take a nap, then go back to their truck and continue the journey. Because the distance of transporting petroleum products here in this country is far. Since we have lost the pipeline,
have we?
Yes, we have lost the pipeline.
Nothing can be done about it?
No, something can be done. The president has promised that he's going to declare a state of emergency in the pipeline. But what I'm trying to tell you now is that we have lost the pipeline. Some of the depots are not working. Some of the depots are supposed to, like Yola depot is not working. Aba is working skeletally. Calabar is working skeletally. Enugu is not even working at all.
So what about the other social activities of drivers of this tanker? Some of them drive under the influence of so many things, and I'm sure the road safety agents have actually talked to your members too about them. So what are you looking at?
Yes, we had a meeting last year. I also know that there's also a meeting by the national president of IPMAN, Lai Sanusi Fare, and the president of the chairman of president of NUPENG, and the PTD tanker driver, Solomon Laditi, to be able to come together to see how they can organize a symposium. Because this thing is short. I want to tell you that it's also eating down on the economy, and we are not happy because most of the people who are driving these trucks are our relations.
And some of them very young.
They are our relations. So you find out that it is not easy for, especially this our business is service oriented. You find out that if you don't curb this thing, the scarcity will come in. And we don't want a social.
I'm sure that should give you some serious concern.
Yeah, it's serious, and also return on investment. You cannot put millions of naira to build a filling station, and you cannot in Kaduna, Kano, Jigawa, you cannot be able to get fuel to service it. So if most of these depots are made to activated, and they are giving products through pipeline to their very close environment, it will stop all this long distance driving. That's what I'm saying.
Mr. Ojo, what would you like to see differently, whether on the part of IPMAN or some other bodies that are affiliated with them, and even on the side of the citizens?
3 things. On the side of the government, let them repair the roads, activate other means of transportation of, haulage, cargoes. Like I said, if you are able to revive the the rail lines, recover the rail lines as the current administration is trying to do, some of these products could be transported even from Lagos to Kano via the rail. Yes. And that will solve part of the trucking interstate. Because you can just imagine from Apapa to Karanambuda to Calabar to, I mean, it's huge. 2, let's recover the roads. The roads needs to be, whether for tanker drivers or for normal transport services of vehicles. If you see the scale of accidents, and you know, this incident of yesterday actually was ignited by a 18-seater commuter bus, you know, which ran into the spill, and that's what we learned ignited the fire. So that also needs to be done on the part of the citizen and the religious bodies as well as communities. Town hall people, people in the town unions can help national orientation agencies. Chip it in when they are having meetings. Tell your families where you see a truck, please don't go there. Don't go near when you see a truck falling, product spilling. It's dangerous, you know. When you do that at family levels, at religious levels, during sermons, Friday sermons, Sunday sermons, you just chip it in. It's not everything that should be spiritual. Some of these things you can, as part of civic education, that people need to know, because it's not everybody's level of understanding that is like you and I. I will be doing Ben Johnson out of a place where there is, because I know the implication, but a school child or, you know, may not really know. So I think at that family level, at the community level, there is a lot we can do in terms of educating our children, our loved ones. Please, where you see a falling tanker, run away from there. If you are driving, abandon your car and save your life first, because you know this could have a cumulative effect. The other thing is, we can recover the pipelines. Is actually the safest way to transport this product. There are depots already established. You know, Mosemi, you know, down to Aba or Enugu, Port Harcourt, even Kaduna, Suleja and the rest. But they are not being serviced because of the break in the pipeline. So if you can fix them, at least even if it's in phases, let's look for the money, fix those pipelines. Thank God that the restiveness has reduced considerably. At least we are meeting more or less our OPEC quota at 2.3 million barrels per day. So we can also use part of the money to repair those vandalized pipelines and police them very well so that they don't get vandalized all over again. So lastly is, you know, I can't overemphasize the importance of enlightenment, you know, through what we are doing right now, which is part of the enlightenment, but it should go to the grassroots in local languages. You know, when you write highly inflammable on a petrol tanker, not everybody don't understand what it meant to say something is highly inflammable. So we can translate them, and during our jingles on radio, on TV, on social media, we can also propagate the news.
All right, Public Affairs Analyst Judy Ojo, thank you very much for coming on the program.
It's a pleasure. Evening. Thanks for having me.
Chinedu Ukadike, National Bureau IPAN, thank you for coming on the program as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
And we wish you and your members the best in trying to curb this. And sorry for your losses again.
Thank you.
And that's Nigeria Today for today. Thank you for watching. Tomorrow is another time to join us for another edition of the program looking at other topical matters. My name is Blessing Abu. You can watch this edition of the program or any other edition at all online, and I'm sure you'll get to see any of the ones you've missed or this one to watch again. Thank you for watching. Bye.